Hello there, people. This is the first episode of TeaTime with Grimlock. This is the Grimlock 88, and this is my first guest, Blunhole.
Hey everyone, how you doing? How are you doing, John?
I can't complain. 2 months away from graduation, head off to college.
I'll tell you what, whenever you get up on that stage and you're getting your diploma, it really fucking hits you. It's like, holy shit. I've been working 13 goddamn years for this, and my reward is going to be more work.
I hear ya. I'm actually looking into possibly getting a job right now.
Nice. What are you thinking of?
Well, one of my friends had told me I could look into this place that's the town that's right next to ours. It's a trucking company, and they need people to wash the trucks.
There you go, man. There you go. A lot of people in today's society, they'll look down on people that make pizzas. They look down on people like a McJob. And I say, hey, whatever it takes to make money, to leave the cave, kill a bear, bring it back for food. Yeah, it's whatever you do. As long as you're working, I'm cool with you. I don't care what you do. I'm very fond of people that swing on poles, by the way, but that's another story. Neither here nor there.
Oh, wow. A cool story recently, during culinary, a good friend of mine was actually bitch slapped with bacon.
Oh, man.
He felt
I'm a
honored.
vegetarian. That is one of the things I miss the most, bacon.
He felt honored and offended all at once.
Oh, man. Was it raw bacon or cooked bacon?
Raw bacon.
I'd feel a little bit disgusted myself. The cooked bacon is just awesome.
Well, with the cooked bacon, it'd be a bit more greasier, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you'd have that nice taste.
That's true.
I'd try, as it's swinging around in my face, I'd try to latch onto it with my teeth.
In fact, one of our favorite things to make in culinary is candied bacon.
Never had it.
It's basically made with a really special rub with both spices and sugar. Put that on anything, it makes it 5 times better.
Okay, I'm gonna look up candied bacon. Morningstar makes a really good veggie bacon.
Ooh.
And maybe I could make veggie candied bacon, because no matter what that's out there, there seems to be like a vegetarian equivalent for it, except for corned beef. I cannot find a good recipe for vegetarian corned beef, and that's a shame because I miss Reuben sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, and St. Patrick's Day is coming up.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's actually kind of funny because Monday, following St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to actually make some Reubens for my parents.
Reubens are it's a great analogy for the way my life goes, because everything in my life has gone wrong, but I've been able to make it work. I don't like rye bread. I think sauerkraut is disgusting. Thousand Island dressing is horrible. Swiss cheese is waxy. And corned beef is just disgusting. It looks like sliced vagina laying on the table. You put them all together, and somehow it just works.
It doesn't taste as bad.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. It's a great analogy for the way my life is going.
I hear ya. So, as a first question, what started Good Morning Cybertron?
A suicide attempt, believe it or not. I'm absolutely not kidding. I had fallen into a really, really deep depression. And I had decided one night that I was going to kill myself. And I went to Walmart, my local Walmart, where you can get absolutely anything. And I bought 2 bottles of sleeping pills. That's how I was going to do it. It was just going to fade off. And I got out to the car, and I sat in the car and cried for about half an hour. And I went back inside. I took the medicine back. And I found out later, this is odd, I found out later that Walmart does not usually accept return medication. But I took all these sleeping pills back, and the woman asked me, why was I returning the medication? And I looked at her just dead in the face. She could see I've been crying. And I said, I changed my mind. And I went and took the money that I got back to buy a microphone, which is sitting right here with me. And I decided one of the things that got me through my depression was podcasts. I love podcasts. I was listening to Five Tacos and a Taco. I was listening to Radio Free Cybertron, which I absolutely love. And I was listening to a show that's no longer around called Vomitus Prime. And I decided, you know what, if I'm going to get through this, podcasts have helped me, and it's going to be a podcast that gets me through it. So that's what started Good Morning Cybertron.
And 100 and how many episodes has it been?
This Monday will be our 118th.
Oh, jeez.
Probably closer to about 125, because we've got a couple, we've got the End of the World special in there. We have one of the Christmas episodes.
Yeah, you're right, because there's some that aren't quite
aren't quite full episodes.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, there's still because you have the cast there and just kind of talking, it still counts.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what do you think of the fact that the new Blitzwing will have all three faces?
Fucking awesome. That's 2 words. Fucking awesome.
When I found that out, I was like, Mom, it's happening, and I don't care.
It's good enough. I'm not a fan of animated. That's one of the things that bugs a lot of Transformers fans about me, is I'm not a fan of animated. I don't like the designs. I didn't like the storylines. But I was really happy to see characters like Lockdown and Lugnut and now Blitzwing get treated to a more realistic design, because you had that movie Lockdown. You had Generations or Reveal the Shield Lugnut. Now you have this Blitzwing that is good enough to be an animated homage, just that tiny little thing, the 3 faces, and at the same time, beautiful enough, realistic enough to be in the Generations classic chug line.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's great. It's a move that pleases everybody.
I think my only gripe about animated in itself is that things were way too sleek. I kind of like that chunky, bricky base look.
I want my robots to look like robots.
You don't want them to look like people.
Exactly. And this, they look too organic.
Yeah.
Where were the wires? Where were the exposed circuitry panels? Where was the little hinges that it looks like the mouse should be operating on?
It's actually a lot of good questions that never got answered.
Yeah.
What is your biggest gripe about Transformers 4 coming out?
My biggest gripe about Transformers 4. That's a really good question. I'm really hesitant to gripe about anything right now, because it's kind of like griping about how bad your meal is before it's even done cooking.
That's actually a real good analogy for a culinary artist.
Yeah. I'm glad you liked it. But it's there's really nothing to gripe about. There are going to be people that don't like it simply because Michael Bay is directing it. The fact of the matter is, Michael Bay has to have done a decent job, or else they wouldn't have kept handing over the reins to him. They would have gotten somebody else. You cannot deny that Dark of the Moon, no matter what you think of the movie, it made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
You can hate the film. You can hate the film all you want, but that film funded that Metroplex that's coming up. That film funded that cool IDW Megatron. It's funding your Generation Springer.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, the fans should, in a way, be thankful for this film.
I'm really so thankful. Yeah. I love the film. I love Dark of the Moon.
I actually ended up getting the whole box set for the last Christmas, and with the fact that I do drama, or I used to do drama, because this past thing was my final role as a character. So because of that, I never really got to watch any of the movies or get to hang out or But things have been a lot of fun. I never regretted a moment of doing drama. I think my favorite role would
What
have
was
to
your
be...
last? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're cool. My last role was Shermie. I will send you a pic of Shermie because he is from Peanuts.
Okay.
Not many people know Shermie, and that's just due to the fact that he was actually Charles Schultz's first Peanuts-based creation.
Let's see here. Shermie. I remember Shermie.
He's the guy that danced in the background.
Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, and I danced like that as well.
I always thought Shermie was maybe like maybe Charlie Brown's parents didn't have it quite together with their first kid, financial problems, and they had to adopt Shermie out. Because he does, yeah, that just looks like Charlie Brown with hair.
It does.
Their second child that they keep ended up having alopecia.
And somehow the third one ended up a little more normal, but
Yeah.
maybe in a way a little special.
You read those old Peanuts cartoons, man. They are dark. They are like freaking existential as all get out.
They are. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Being in Scouts, one of the main lines I had to do was over astronomy, and it really fit because the line went along the lines of, I don't know, does it look like an airplane to you? I was like, well, it looks like a star, but maybe it's a planet.
Now, I didn't know astronomy was one of your passions. That's one of mine, too.
It's one of the things I always loved about scouting, although, sadly enough, that's the only merit badge I never finished.
Oh. So not enough people look up. One of my favorite things to do. I actually had my alarm set for 6:25 this morning, but it was too overcast to see anything. I like to watch the International Space Station fly overhead. And it's incredible to see this star moving across the sky and to be able to look at it and go, there are people on that.
Recently, I ended up watching this video over this kind of theory on how you could use like constant explosions to create lift for a rocket, and if you use this theory of using these nuclear explosions to create lift for the rocket, you could make it to a fraction of the speed of light, and with it, you could apparently make it to Saturn in 2.5 years.
That's always boggled me how freaking big everything is. You know, and it's not my thought. I wish to God it was, because it's a genius thought. We are the stuff of stars.
Yeah.
You look at the stuff that we are made up of, and it turns out like the entire universe is made up of almost exactly the same amount of stuff. We're the universe experiencing itself. And just, we're so tiny, and there's so much out there. And it's just, I cannot wait. I have two big dreams in my life that probably will not happen. I live for the day that we find out that we're not alone in the universe. And it's going to be amazing. I can't imagine that somebody who would be able to harness the power of the stars would want to kick our ass for what we have. You know,
Yeah.
We don't really have a lot down here. So I imagine they'd come down and look at us and kind of pet us on the head like dogs, and
You've had your fun.
Yeah. Oh, look at the cute. Isn't that precious?
Oh, they're trying to hold an item.
Well, look at this. Look at this one human over here. Oh, he can do quantum theory. Little Jimmy was doing that in kindergarten the other day. We posted it on the refrigerator. That's adorable. But a more believable dream. I would love to look up at the moon Whenever I'm an old man, I would love to be able to look up at the moon and see the lights of cities shining back at me
That's
at night.
actually should be plausible within so many years.
Yeah. That should have happened 30 years ago. We should have been doing that in the 80s. If we were up there right now, a lot of the problems that we have on this planet would not be problems. There's fuel up there. People don't realize that. There's this chemical up there called helium-3 that would absolutely solve every fuel crisis we'd have on this planet.
It also helped with the situation of overpopulation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And heck, retirement communities. Old people walking around at 1/8 gravity.
That would really help with joint systems and.
Yeah.
So another one of the questions. What brought on your character of Blumhole?
The drunk. I've always had difficulty with my speech. And anytime I say an SH or a CH, it has a little bit of a slur in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I desperately wanted to do toy reviews. Once again, this was brought on by depression. And desperately wanted to do toy reviews, but I didn't think I had the voice for it. So what I did was I kind of sat down and I was listening to an old Foster Brooks comedy album. And Foster Brooks was this lovable drunk. And I thought, well, what if I just created like an angry drunk? Like an angry drunk toy reviewer. And I could slur my CHs and SHs till the cows come home. I could stutter. I could interchange words, which is, other problems that I have with my language. And it wouldn't fucking matter. It would just be the drunk guy. And yeah, so far I'm happy with it. It's turned out really well.
So far, what brought on the character Grimlock was, well, dinosaurs are awesome, and then robot dinosaurs are twice that awesome. When I saw Grimlock, I'm like, hell yes, that's mine. That's going to be me somehow. And so far, I'm just known as that guy in the school.
As far as the character name of Blumhole goes, there was these mini-con packages in Cybertron, and it was Ramjet and Scythe. And I guess Big Bad Toy Store was having a little bit of fun, and they put up this fake story about the Autobot and Decepticon mini-cons, Ramjet and Scythe, being trapped in the domain of Blumhole, the tapeworm of Unicron. And it was like a vile Decepticon that served as Unicron's tapeworm. And I remember seeing on one of the forums somebody is going to take the legend of Blumhole way too seriously. And I thought to myself, well, that could be me. Why not? I'll be the guy that takes it way too seriously. Fuck, I'll be Blumhole.
That works. Real quick, I'd like to show you the first episode title screen or whatever.
Let's see it.
I kind of misspelled it. I typed fast and didn't really care.
That's okay. grimlcok. I think you should go with grimlcok as the name.
I think I will.
like that, actually.
Do you use Windows Movie Maker with just putting everything together, or?
Yes, I do. It's I use Windows Movie Maker. Honestly, whenever I did this, and I think you can kind of tell by the music in the reviews, I was going for a 1970s look. So I just use like yellow light bulbs whenever I do the stuff, or I try to use natural sunlight. I try to keep things a little bit of a tinge, brighten them up a little bit, and I just wanted it to look cheesy, like you were watching like an old episode of Happy Days. And so Windows
or
Movie Maker,
maybe even Adam 12.
Yeah. Oh, what Adam 12? See the man.
Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite, older shows that I'll watch. So
1 out of 12. I used to watch that, and I'd watch Emergency and the $6 Million Man whenever I was a kid. Next year, I'll be 40, and that scares the living fuck out of me. But like my big memories were as a kid watching these old TV shows, and yeah, I wanted to pass that along. I wanted to have that 1970s look to things. And some people will inevitably like look at it and go, they'll email me and they'll go, oh, you need to do this. Your videos would look so much better if you did this, if you did this, if you did this.
Screw that.
Yeah, do you not see the blue shag couch in the background?
It's a 70s thing. You don't get it.
And that is my actual couch. But do you not see the blue shag couch in the background? It's part of this. It's the only way I could make it more 70s would be having something like an avocado green coffee table. But I thought that would be hitting people over the head with it.
If I find you one, I will send it to you.
I think I have one. But thank you. Thank you very much.
I think those are... actually, I don't know if you ever watched Good Eats before.
Once or twice.
Alton Brown, one of my favorite cooks, did something with avocados, and I just thought it was so amazing. He did these experiments because, first off, avocados are so similar to eggs, however, they have so much more to them because they have a lot more vitamins, being a vegetable. Second, he tells the history of avocados, which is hilarious because when the Mayans named them, it was like abajajo or something, and it literally translates to testicles.
Right on.
I'm down with that.
Rocky Mountain tree oysters. Why not?
Wow, that's an interesting new name for that. Anyway, he made an avocado ice cream.
That actually sounds really good.
It apparently tastes good because, with the fresh lime juice and everything, and once it goes through that mixer thing.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here and I'm trying to imagine the taste in my mouth. And I think that's one of the great things about avocados. You have guacamole and the taste is very strong, but just avocado itself.
It's very mild.
It's a very, very mild. It's almost like you're going for the texture instead of the taste.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can really get behind the thought of an avocado ice cream.
What about avocado frosting?
It would depend on what type of cake you were putting it on. Like I think an avocado frosting would go really well on an angel food cake.
Ooh.
But I think on a chocolate cake, it wouldn't go as well.
It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, it would kind of clash.
I'm trying to think if a sponge cake would work.
Possibly.
Did you hear that the revival of the Twinkie is happening?
Oh, it never really left.
It just said it left. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, how to explain it?
There have always been Twinkie knockoffs.
Especially at Walmart.
Yeah, you can, in the height of the Twinkie drop, the great Twinkie drop of 2012, you were still able to get like knockoff Twinkies at Walmart that were just as good. The thing that I really missed were the zingers, like the raspberry and coconut covered Twinkies.
Ooh.
That's what I missed. And then a local company started making them, and it's like, I'm not really missing anything.
For example, one of the very local companies in Ohio, Nichols Bakery, basically they made their own miniature pies to kind of replace the Hostess pies. Mm-hmm. They're twice as good.
Yeah, I love Nichols stuff. We can get Nichols stuff where I'm from because you and I don't really live
too far away.
Yeah, we're like, 250, 300 miles away, something like that.
Yeah, a lot of times I actually go pretty much that distance when I go to summer camp.
Yeah, where do you go to summer camp at?
Seven Ranges. It's
okay.
Give me one sec. I will give you the city is near.
Not a problem, but the Nichols Bakery stuff, if you want like a good cake, they make a coconut cream cake. It is just absolutely, and I'm going to use a very gayish phrase, to die for.
It's right near Kensington.
I know where Kensington is.
Yeah.
I know where Kensington is.
And this place is huge. when I mean huge, I mean it does both Boy Scout and Cub Scout camp together, and there's still so much land to it. Not even like a lot of the people that I know that go through there so much have been through all of it.
I like the Boy Scouts. I think they need to. I mean, the Boy Scouts, it's really good for getting your morale up. It's good for having a person know that they're capable of handling stuff, but they really do need to lighten up on the whole gay thing.
I can agree to that too, like a really good point, due to the fact that, I don't see any huge issue with it, especially because they aren't going to pull anything there. I mean, they're there to have fun. They're there to make friends,
Right. Where one adult wants to stick their dick into another adult that is consenting, it should have nothing to do with the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't want the Boy Scouts teaching my kids about straight sex, much less gay sex. Sex shouldn't even enter into the equation.
Exactly. The whole idea behind scouting is to have fun, to learn new skills, to make friends that you're never going to forget. Like, for example, there are friends that I still have to this day that we've gone through so much, and we could hardly even remember the stuff that we've gone through because, I mean, it's the people that matter, not the event.
Right.
And that's a part of Charles Schultz's philosophy, going back to like the Peanuts thing. Another question. What made you start your YouTube account in the first place?
I was, one thing, sounds so fucking depressing because it leads back to depression. I was going through a divorce. A very bitter child custody case, which is what shot me into my depression. It was, and that's what made me start my YouTube account. It was essentially something to keep me busy. And I've always found humor. It's true. It comes from a very dark place, and humor has always gotten me through the tough stuff. So, yeah, that was what made me start the YouTube account. And I mean, whenever I started it, it sat there for, I guess a couple of months before I even did anything with it. Simply because I was too dumb to operate the video camera.
So you understand how I was.
I am the least technologically advanced person. My house, I live in the middle of Forbes State Forest in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't have a phone line in my house. I do not have internet at my house. Honest to God, I am like backing into the 20th century.
So how do you do YouTube videos in that if you don't have internet?
Well, what I do is my mother lives 10 minutes away from me. God damn phones. I hate this. I absolutely hate this phone. Anyway, my mother lives about 10 minutes away from me, and they can get a phone line to her. So I bought a second computer, and it's my really good computer. Mm-hmm. I keep that at my mother's place. I pay for the internet connection there. And then I have a secondary computer that I keep at my home. Just like a little 40 gig hard drive. Nothing
too special.
Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll shoot the video up at my place. I'll edit it up there. And then I'll end up putting it together. I'll put it onto a memory stick, bring it down to my mother's place on my computer there, load it up to the internet.
Very cool. What allows you to be able to do Skype?
Skype?
Mm-hmm.
Being at my mom's place.
I see.
Yeah, right now I'm at my mother's place, which is why the phone is ringing.
It's perfectly fine.
I don't know why it has to be by the computer, but that's
in case if someone calls while she's at the computer.
Yeah. My mom, as bad as I am with technology, mm-hmm. My mom is even worse. My mom doesn't even know how to turn the computer on.
My dad, amazing person, especially with all that he goes through, he still needs to ask me on how to operate the remote control at some times.
Oh, yeah. Same with my mom. Same with my mom. And my mom is one of the smartest people I know. But you put a computer, a cell phone, or a remote control in front of her, and she turns into a blithering idiot.
Yep. So, what do your kidneys go through in a day of recording?
Absolutely nothing. I don't drink. I do not drink. My doctor has even told me, Scott, you need to start drinking. Because I actually have bad kidneys. Whenever you see me drinking something on the videos, usually it's soda, usually it's Kool-Aid, stuff like that. I just put it in a cup and I pretend to be drunk. And yeah, it's like a lot of people get angry at the videos because they call me a drunk, they call me a lush. But you know, honestly, I'm a teetotaler. I haven't had a drink of alcohol in 3 years. And it's not that I've ever had a problem with it. I just don't like the taste of it. I don't like beer. I don't like the sting of alcohol. Yeah, I'll have a Mountain Dew. I'll have a raspberry soda. That's exactly what I'm drinking right now.
I understand about the sting of alcohol because I go to church and sometimes we'll have communion.
Yeah.
There was a point in time in which we just never went to church. Like our church had basically shunned us after taking away two of my mom's jobs. So things were rough there.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. It's really weird. The church is supposed to be there to help people. But really, in my opinion, they do a lot of harm, too.
Yeah. And so we found a new church, and the church there is amazing. In fact, the best thing about it is I got to meet up with old friends I haven't seen in about 7 years because they left from a previous pastor from the first church who...
Great.
Yeah, because, that previous pastor basically caused, like, a lot of... eavesdropping and it caused a lot of rumors, and half the congregation just up and left.
I'll tell you what, I've never really had trouble with my local pastor. He's retired now. It's Pastor David Fetter.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, in an amazingly forward move for a Lutheran church, we have a female pastor now, Pastor Ingrid. And she's a wonderful lady about my age. But I remember whenever I was younger, a lot of the congregation was upset because Pastor Fetter was putting up Halloween decorations. And it's like, it's Halloween, and a lot of people were going, oh, it's the devil's holiday, and blah, blah, blah.
Devil's holiday, it was started by, like, pagans and stuff.
Yeah,
And it was, Christians actually kind of took it for their own, or, kind of interpreted it. Because, when they came over to try to convert people, it was like, oh, wow, this is interesting.
It was All Saints Day.
Yeah.
And that conversion is why the Christian holidays and the Jewish holidays always tend to line up. You have Christmas and Hanukkah. Mm-hmm. You have Passover and Easter. You have Yom Kippur and the World Series. So everything tends to line up like that. But, whenever I was a fat kid walking around my hometown, trick-or-treating, Satanism was the last thing on my mind. I was worried about getting candy. And I can tell you right now, if the devil would have shown up and wanted to go trick-or-treating with me, he'd bring his own bag. He wasn't getting any of this fat ass's candy, plain and simple. I wanted mallow cups.
Mallow cups are amazing.
I fucking love mallow cups.
Have you ever had a Sky Bar?
Oh, my God.
Yes.
There's only one place I've found that I can buy Sky Bars back here, but I'm lucky enough that it's only 10 minutes away from me. And for those listening that have no idea what a Sky Bar is,
oh my God.
Imagine getting like a caramello. And your first bite of it is indeed a caramello. And then your next bite is like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
Your next bite is going to be a mallow cup. And then your final bite is going to be chocolate-covered fudge.
Oh.
It's like an orgasm in a wrapper. It's,
Yes.
yeah.
One of my favorite things about culinary is that we get to go on these field trips yearly, and we get to the same places because we'll go to a fancy place, then we go to a mom and pop's place. That way we can see both parts of the spectrum, in which both places are very, they're successful, but they do two completely different things. And going to this really fancy place, this place called Maggiano's. In fact, you'll probably hear about it in one of my next reviews, because the best way to put it is that they give you, when they give you the drinks, they have these little pin thingies, the little skewers. And turns out the skewers were nearly the perfect width and shape to make a little saber. So I just kind of whittled it down, and it works.
My Thundertron now has a decent sword.
Which doesn't suck ass.
Yeah. I have yet to get that figure. I really want that, but I'm trying to hold out until I see it at a Ross or a TJ Maxx or something.
I hear you. But before we end up eating at Maggiano's, we always go to the Beechwood Mall, because they have so many stores that you get to go through. It's amazing. The one we always go to is, I think it's called the Sweet Shop or something like that. And it has just a ton of candy. You can buy a bag and get a quarter pound for a couple bucks.
Oh. There's this store close to me. Same place you can get the Sky Bars, but it's called Hilltop Fruit and Vegetable Stand.
Mm-hmm.
And then underneath it says Home of Candyland. And you walk into it, and this quote-unquote fruit and vegetable stand is like 3/4 of the store is just boxes and boxes and boxes of fun-sized candy with a couple vegetables thrown around. Really, it should be Candyland, or the candy store, Home of Vegetable Town. But yeah, it's great, because you just get a plastic bag. You grab handful of this, handful of that, handful of another thing. They go up, they weigh it, you pay them, you go home, you go into a diabetic coma.
Did you, in the state that you're in, did you know that there's actually the last standing penny candy shop?
Yes, I do know that. I love, there's this one site I go to called The Vortex.
Mm-hmm.
It's about roadside attractions. And yes, I have seen that. That's up in, is it Morris, Pennsylvania?
I think so.
Yeah. I think it's Morris, Pennsylvania, which is also home to the world's only drive-through strip club.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to work things.
Yeah.
How would they stay in business during the winters?
Well, I think the girls are behind glass, so the girls stay warm, which is good because they're not clothing very well.
Well,
but imagine it's a lot like fast food, like the girls that work the drive-through window at the strip club.
throw your money at them quick.
Yeah,
Take a quick peek and get going.
It'll be if you're in the mood for some titties and ass, it'll hold you over until you can get some good titty and ass. That's nothing you want to live on. That's the way I've never been there, but that's the way I imagine it to be.
Wow. But last year when we went to this Beechwood Mall, I found, what was it? Turkish taffy.
Oh God, I love Turkish taffy.
I know.
It'll pull a tooth out by the roots, but it's just so damn tasty.
Well, I nearly dislocated my jaw because during the one drama practice, I had nothing to do but bring a snack or something, and I had a bar of Turkish taffy, thought nothing of it, took a bite, kept chewing, kept chewing, kept chewing. Over an hour later, I finished chewing the bar. And then when I tried talking, I heard this little pop in my jaw, and I was like, oh no, that can't be good.
Oh. Yeah, I know. It's just that, and it's not even like people are thinking, okay, chewing, that's no big deal. But whenever you're dealing with something like a sandwich, really only putting pressure on one side. I think what does it with taffy is the fact that taffy sticks to your jaw, and you have to fight against it to put your jaw, put it back up. So it's fighting in both directions. You know how they say like an alligator has like 10,000 pounds of force on the downward bite, but a rubber band can hold its mouth closed on the up? I think it's kind of that. Almost every animal is like that. But with taffy, you're fighting it. You're fighting the taffy's pull on the reload of the chew. It's exhausting.
That just gave me another idea, either a sketch or even trying this out. What would happen if you bought like a shitload of Turkish taffy and then tried feeding it to like a crocodile or an alligator?
I imagine you'd lose a finger.
No, I mean, like, stand back enough, but, like, get the Turkish taffy close to it so it's like, oh, I smell food. It's going to try eating it.
You'd have to cover it in a lot of blood. Because I don't imagine, like, an alligator would be happy with just Turkish taffy.
But the flavor of Turkish taffy, I'd beg to differ.
But, yeah, I imagine for at least a little while, you have, like, that alligator pretty much subdued. It's nothing I'd want to bet my life on, but I think we need to call Mythbusters.
Ooh, that'd be an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Another one of the funny questions. Do you look at Tom Hanks as a role model from peeing so much in his roles?
I never thought about that. He really does take an awful lot of leaks.
A League of His Own, The Green Mile.
Oh, The Green Mile. Yeah, I've suffered from kidney infections and bladder infections and kidney stones.
First minute once he's cured, he takes a piss.
Yeah, that peeing thing in The Green Mile is, I mean, every man will look at that and go, oh, God. But until you've pissed a mile in his shoes, you start to have like a whole different feeling for him. After my first kidney surgery, they pulled a stone out of me that was 3/4 of an inch long and 1/2 inch wide.
Oh my!
And they ripped up like a huge part of my ureter. They had to replace part of my ureter with some cadaver tissue. And the first piss after my surgery, it was in a Walmart. And it was just, it came out cherry red blood. And it felt like I was trying to piss molten steel. There is this, you start to realize that your penis is the absolute center of your body. And you try to piss. And it's just like everything hurts. Absolutely everything hurts. But do I respect Tom Hanks? Yeah, I do. Not just for pissing in his roles. I think he's an amazing actor, but yeah, it takes a lot to have to pee for every role you have. I don't know if I could do it.
It takes quite a lot to have to pee 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at that. I'm like, how do I, how am I supposed to look at this?
Celery seed tea.
Ooh.
If you really want to pee for that long, may I suggest, like, just downing a lot of water, drink a cup of coffee, and then chase that with a cup of celery seed tea. And I will tell you this: the one time that I did it, I was really afraid, because after the first 30 seconds of pissing,
it just wouldn't stop.
it would not stop. The floodgates had been opened. And it was not going to stop. And then, like, after about, like, the second minute, and the stream has started to die down. You know, it was like backed up in my kidneys, and it's just flushing out. It was frightening. I'm not going to lie. Celery seed tea was frightening.
What is your favorite figure?
My favorite figure back in the 1980s, around about 85, 86, I ended up getting this Devastator knockoff called Mr. Hard Hat.
Ooh, I've seen a review of that.
Yeah, Mr. Hard Hat. And whenever, I was about 3 years after I got it, my buddy's cousin snuck into my house and smashed Mr. Hard Hat with a meteorite that I had.
A meteorite?
Yeah, a meteorite. If you watch my review of Mr. Hard Hat, you can see the actual meteorite that he used to smash it. And it took me a long, long time, like a couple of years, to finally get Mr. Hard Hat back and complete. And it's just, that's the center of my collection. A lot of people will go Fort Max, and Fort Max is a good figure.
But it's just so damn big.
Exactly. It's a great figure, but really what makes it novel is its size. Nobody's too keen on that little deluxe size Fort Max. At least they weren't until Last Stand of the Wreckers came through. Everybody wanted that huge honking piece of plastic, and that's really cool. It's a great centerpiece. But for me, if my house was on fire and I could only grab one, I'd grab Mr. Hard Hat. That's got a special place in my heart.
What is the figure that you hate with a dire passion?
It's really hard for me to hate any of my figures. But I would have to say, if I would have to say any figure, I'd say Armada Sideswipe.
Ooh.
Armada Sideswipe is just one of those figures that you look at and you go, you could have done so much with this. It's got that really cool gimmick. It's hard for me to hate it because it even has that cool gimmick of like the trunk flipping open and hey, there's the little Minicon motorcycle. But then like the arms suck and the legs are absolutely horrible and you couldn't have added in 4 more ball joints to get the legs a little bit better. And the Minicon looks really freaking weird. And yeah, it was. I don't really hate Sideswipe for what it is. I hate it for what it could have been.
Going back to nostalgia, the first figure I ever got was for Christmas, and it was an Armada Red Alert. And even though the figure sucked, I still loved it.
Armada Red Alert does suck, but not at the time.
I mean, at the time, it was so cool, but now I look back and it's like, eh.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna, you've always got to base it on what was the technology at the time. Because if you want to look at that, you can look at your G1 Optimus Prime and go, this thing sucks.
But if you have nostalgia for it, and if many people like it, then it just doesn't. Yeah.
That wave of G1, that's your birth cry. That's the progenitor of the entire series. This is, without this, you have nothing. And you have to respect it for that. And really, without Armada, you wouldn't have had like the coolness of Cybertron. You wouldn't have had the coolness of the Generations line. They had to go through all that to get to where they are. Which, you know, another reason I can't really say that I hate any figure.
Very cool. Another interesting question about figures. What is the figure that's in your title for your reviews?
That's from Matchbox. That is a Matchbox Parasite Terrosite. Matchbox back in the 80s, they tried to get into this little, they tried to catch the Transformers wave is what they were doing. And Halley's Comet was coming through. So they made these Matchbox cars and then little robots that you could fold up and hide inside the Matchbox cars. And that was terrifying. Mainly, I picked him because I had him as a kid. He was like hidden in a box in the back room, and I looked at him and went, this looks like a tapeworm.
Very cool. Let's see. What, oh, no, let me see. Grab a caller. Nope.
Oh, come on, I'll talk to him.
Actually, I think I'd rather have him talk to my grandmother. Give it about half an hour. He'll never call back, and she'll think she was talking to old cousin Larry or something.
Oh, man.
But what is who's your favorite character in Transformers?
My absolutely favorite character. This might piss a lot of people off.
Oh, this I want to see.
My favorite character, and it's not every version of this character, but my favorite character really is Bumblebee.
Why would that piss people off? I mean,
It's been oversaturated with Bumblebee.
Because of the Bay films, okay.
Yeah.
However, I don't know, this is actually I don't know if this is rumor or true, but apparently we aren't going to have Bumblebee in Transformers 4.
I wouldn't put it past them. That character's kind of run its life out. I'd like to see a whole new group of Autobots, to tell you the truth. I would like to see, even get rid of Prime, get rid of Megatron, and you could make it very simple. Prime was never able to recover from his injuries. He's still the leader, but he's kind of this one-armed leader who really just calls the shots and doesn't go into battle anymore.
He's basically kind of like
a figurehead.
Yeah.
He's Reagan.
He's Brains from Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
He's Zordon from Power Rangers.
He's proved it in battle. He sacrificed everything in battle. Now it's time for him to just sort of call the vague general overseeing shots and let somebody else. That's where you could get your Rodimus Prime from. Get somebody else in there to take charge on the battlefield.
I hear you. That would be amazing. Have you played Fall of Cybertron?
I have not. I don't even own a PS3 or an Xbox 360. But I have watched a complete playthrough of the game. So I know the storyline. I know how beautiful the game is. I had a blast just watching somebody else play it on YouTube. I know that I would enjoy it if you got a controller in my hand.
I can see how bad Xavier hates the Optimus figure.
It really is a disappointing figure. But it's a disappointing figure because it's Optimus. If you would have slapped a different head on that, colored it orange and blue, and called it Huffer, it would have been a good figure.
I'll get right to work on that. Because, when you take a look at War for Cybertron, I mean, it's a completely different thing. It's a lot more complex. It's a lot more detailed.
Yeah, that War for Cybertron, that was like Batmanimus Prime.
Batmanimus Prime.
It was a great figure. It was complex. It was a challenge. It was on the verge of being too complex.
But it was just at that right point to where it was, you dealt with it and you still loved it.
Yeah. And I loved the little weapons gimmick where the weapon, whoop, it flipped out and extended to full girth. And it was, I really liked that figure. That's my Optimus.
That's your Optimus? My parents are dead. I'm Optimus Prime.
That's my Optimus. That's my video game Optimus, yeah.
Did you ever hear the story on how Peter Cullen actually came up with the voice for Optimus?
He based it off of his brother Larry Cullen, who was in the Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shame. Larry Cullen passed away last year.
Oh wow, I didn't not know that.
Yeah. Larry Cullen passed away last year,
Yeah,
and yeah, what a shame. Because apparently, by all accounts from Peter Cullen that I've heard, he was kind of like this. He was the hero. He was Optimus Prime.
first words that came out of Peter's mouth when he tried out for it. Well, Larry, I'm gonna go voice a truck.
And I remember him going. I remember there's a story that Larry Cullen looked at me and goes, "Don't use my voice."
Whoops, too late.
Yeah.
Do you think Larry ever like sat down to watch this? He was like, "God damn it, he totally used my voice."
I imagine so. But I mean, you look at those old G1 episodes, and even Peter Cullen has evolved that character into something different than it was 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
But it's still, with Peter Cullen voicing it, it is still undeniably, unmistakably Optimus Prime.
Yep. I really want to get that new IDW Bumblebee figure now that I'm thinking of it.
Oh, me too.
I mean, it's got the little horns, and it's like, it looks Bumblebee, and it's doesn't get the little faceplate. It just really resembles him. It works.
That's a great figure. I'm not too keen on the Legends Bumblebee. I'm still going to get it, but I'm not too keen on it. For some reason, I look at that, I see the little Blazemaster helicopter, and the only thing I can think of is Armada Hotshot.
Yeah. I can't blame you. Although I kind of like the idea of Optimus and Roller.
Yeah, that's really cool. I recently bought a Roller Target Master on Shapeways.
Ooh.
And I gotta say, like, the design looked good.
Mm-hmm.
That sucked. I'm going to have to put a lot of work into that figure before it's able to be in the collection, because it does not work just putting it together as is. There's going to have to be a lot more work done to that.
I'm going to put a link on something from Shapeways because it's going to be something I plan on buying within the next so long.
I have a folder in my Firefox favorites. I have a folder just marked Shapeways once, and that thing doubles every 3 months. I'll never catch up. Let's see here. Combiner twin sockets. Let me see here. Oh, these are for the power core combiners?
Mm-hmm. So with it, you could basically just attach two of them to like one of the pegs.
Right, two commander figures instead of attaching drones to the limbs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is my Drawn Steel Hero. I love Drawn Steel Hero stuff, but he hasn't done anything in a long time. I have most of his Target Masters. Well, he calls them gunslingers.
Are they worth the price, or?
They are more than worth the price.
Cool.
They are absolutely, I'm telling you right now, they are more than worth the price. Let's see, what do I have here? I have Salvo.
Mm-hmm.
I have, Salvo is like his own little character. I think I have Dust Up. Who does Dust Up go to? Do I have, no, I don't think maybe I do, maybe I don't. The only one I have real trouble with, Vantage. Vantage is a little bit too big, but if I put a little bit of work into him, I think he'd be fine. Mayhem is awesome. The Mayhem gunslinger figure from Drawn Steel Hero is absolutely incredible. I didn't think anybody could get a Target Master put together that would work with Classics Blur, but he did it.
Wow.
And that you can attach it to Blur in vehicle mode.
That's even better.
Yeah. You just open the hood panels on Blur, and the Target Master pegs in to like the little grooves and tongs on the one side of Blur. Right? He's got drift up there, and he shows it with drift. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I've gotten almost all of his Target Masters, and I wish he'd put some new stuff out.
The reason why I have to kind of wait on getting this is due to the fact that I now have to find another power core combiner.
Ah.
Because I don't know if I ever got a chance. No, I didn't get a chance to do the review for this figure, which sucks. It was one of my favorite figures out of the Power Core Combiner series.
Uh-huh.
But both the Minicon, well, first the Minicon fell apart. Just like the ball joints just broke into pieces. I think that crystalline plastic just doesn't really work. It's a lot more fragile, so.
Yeah. I usually try to go for the white, strong, and flexible.
Yeah. If I was to buy this, I would purchase the either the white, strong, and flexible, or the sandstone.
If I may make a suggestion
Mm-hmm.
to you, well, two. Number one, go for the white, strong, and flexible.
Okay.
It's a little grainy, but it works a lot better. I ordered something recently in black detail,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like working with tiny bits of glass. It would break all the time. And I finally got everything put together, but it was really fragile. Number two, whenever you decide to order from Shapeways, log in, put stuff in your cart, and then wait a couple of days.
Why?
They sent me an email this last time, and I've ordered several times from Shapeways.
Mm-hmm.
I put some stuff in the cart just to see how much everything would come up to.
Mm-hmm.
It was an easy way to add stuff together. And whenever I logged out, I just left everything in my cart. And they sent me this email that basically said, "Hey, we noticed you got some stuff in your cart there that you're not buying. Would a coupon change your mind?" Sent me this coupon code that was good for a week. So make sure you've got the money on hand.
Wow.
And they sent me this coupon code. It was like 10% off.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was. And so I ended up ordering the stuff that was in my cart. And basically all I was really doing was I was too lazy to add stuff up on the calculator that I keep in my desk. The computer will do the thinking for me. But yeah, it really lucked out, and I got a really good deal. I ended up getting the Wheeljack's throttle box head conversion kits.
Mm-hmm.
I got some heels for my Warbot Defender. I got that Target Master roller, and I got Smash Master Seismus.
Smash Master size. Have you done a review of that, or?
Not yet. I just got it put together. It's this beautiful thing from Fake Booster. And if you haven't checked out Fake Booster stuff, go there now.
I think I've heard of Fake Booster. How do I type it in? Fake.
I'll tell you what. Just go to Shapeways and type in the word Smash Master, and it should bring it right up. It's a Target Master that turns into a battle hammer.
I see something called Smash Master Seismus.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Oh, holy crap. And
he comes with a little hammer for himself.
Yeah.
Wields a smaller version of himself. Not since Shockwave in G1 has anyone wielded themselves.
Seismus Deception?
Exactly.
Wow.
And Fake Booster does so much beautiful stuff.
Oh, wow.
I like it's pronounced famous because it says the S is silent. Famous. But anyway, yeah, beautiful figure.
So they end up, he just made something recently, and it looks really good. It's these special pieces which allow you to create posable, bug arms or bug legs.
For the Beast Hunter's Arachnid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those.
And I really...
Arachnid was one of those figures that I thought I was going to like, and then I saw it in toy form, and I went, I don't like this anymore.
This just plain sucks.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is, one dude created something really nice. It's a crayon upgrade kit.
Crayons are something that I can't get into. I will be absolutely honest. I cannot get into crayons.
With this thing, however, it doesn't look so much as a Lego, and it still looks like you can actually, with the assistance of a couple of Legos, you could actually make a vehicle mode that doesn't suck. Like, let me send you a link to this because it looks really cool. Like, I've never bought the crayons due to the fact that, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Legos anymore, but...
Yeah, I'm looking at it, still not digging it.
It's not for everyone.
Exactly. You know, obviously with me not liking the animated line, you know, I like my Transformers to look a little bit more
like a robot,
intimidating, realistic, and just the crayons aren't doing it for me. I mean, this definitely looks better than what you're offered, and it doesn't even really look that invasive. You know, it's just adding on to what it is. It's like an exoskeleton, I guess.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. But I like it. It looks good, just not for me.
Don't blame you. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this little idea. This would be, it's kind of a bit of a spoiler, but you know how Xavier is doing that April Fool's collaboration?
Yes, yes.
He wants me to do that impression of him that I was going to do for that review. That never happened because I got so busy.
Oh, you should do it. I'd love to see you in the review.
A review? I thought it was more of just like people.
Well, yeah.
You know. But yeah, I could definitely do that.
Heck yeah, I want to see it. Definitely want to see it. Be like the 10th Xavier.
My name is Xavier 10, and I'd like to first off by thanking everyone who's subscribed so far.
We could have Xavier regenerating into a different Xavier.
It's kind of like the Doctor Who series.
Exactly what I was going for.
Well, the Transformer Lord has been killed. He just now regenerated into Xavier 10. God damn it.
I'm still not dead.
You cannot kill me.
Somebody help me. I haven't regenerated knees yet. Oh, man. Yeah, I like Xavier. Xavier was one of those happy coincidences. The way I ended up meeting Xavier, we've been doing the podcast for a couple of episodes. And Josh had been my friend for many years, and he was a Transformers fan. And I had seen this guy on YouTube, I Flip Coco Liso, and I thought this guy is a great foil. He's funny, but there's some anger there, and he'd be great to have on the show, just as sort of like a counterpoint to Josh's everything is beautiful and wonderful in its own way.
So he's kind of like the Simon Cowell.
Exactly. And then I realized whenever I got Josh on the air and he was able to talk about his feelings, Josh is not happy with the way things are going all the time. It was not what I thought it was. And then this guy starts commenting, this rave guy, and he ends up sending me a box of toys. And so I split up the toys amongst everybody on the podcast. And I kind of said to him, like, I watched his video, and he had this one weird Tetris video. And I thought, this guy is not right in the head, and I need to have him on. And everything just like clicked in. It was like, this is the missing piece to the show. And I love having Xavier on. He's incredible. He's a great guy. And yeah, awesome fella. Awesome fella.
The great thing about having you guys on, like, as like friends I can talk to about Transformers and stuff
Yeah,
is
yeah.
you won't give me an answer like it came out of the hole of a horse's ass. I've gotten that a few times from YouTube. I'm like, asshole. Walk away. Walk away before you start something.
Yeah.
Too late. I'm starting something.
Sorry. Fight me. Fight me.
Types in something obscure, lustful, and just plain wrong all in one sentence. Oh, I ended up doing this paper over climate change for my English class.
Really? Now, where do you stand on the whole climate change thing?
For example, I mean, I believe there is climate change. However, there are natural cycles of climate change because there have been times in U.S. history in which we've been frosted over during like the spring times, and the winter times are very mild. And at one point, there's been a year in which during the winter it was even up in the 90s.
Yeah. For me, climate change is always, I look at climate change and I go, okay, yes, the climate is changing. I don't know if we have anything to do with it, but we sure is fucking helping things. We as humans, we really do need to take care of the planet better than what we are.
I mean, seriously, when we first see something to use, we abuse that power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big time.
And for me, it's not even an issue. Is the human race affecting climate change on this planet? That's not even an issue to me. The only issue should be we need to keep this place clean, and we're not doing a very good job of it because human beings are all these upright walking monkey slobs.
Yeah, oh, my third time in the episode.
Okay. It's all right.
Hold on. Hello? Some dude from India.
Oh, hello.
Yes, it was literally, hello, am I talking to Pam?
Would I interest you in a beef jerky and a copy of Hustler magazine? You got my attention now. Tell me more, man, meat.
Well, so one of my views is that what the media tells us cannot be true.
Oh, no.
Because,
No,
yeah.
I agree with you.
Because think about it. What they have those propaganda commercials. Oh, look at the dying polar bears. Have pity on them. We must change our ways. Well, yeah, we need to change our ways, but it's not about no polar bear. It's due to the fact that we don't clean our earth like we should.
I am like, this is not going to make me popular, but I'm not really here to become popular.
You're already popular with me.
Well, thank you. But I'm of the ilk that the media lies to us with every breath. The government lies to us with every breath. I don't think 9/11 went down the way it does. I am definitely a 9/11 truther. I don't think that the Sandy Hook shooting was anything that we were told that it was. I'm not even quite certain what it was. I even think there was something going on with the theater shooting in Colorado. Because there's just too many unanswered questions. And they're not even bringing up the questions.
They just can't look the other way and don't even announce them as being there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's...
like, for example, the U.S. is in debt, but the U.S. corporation, because each state technically has like a little corporate part,
Mm-hmm.
They have quite a bit of money.
Yeah, and it's... God, I think we lost it somewhere in 63. You know,
far back.
I think 63 was like the beginning of the end of the government telling the truth to its people. Because, man, if you look at the Kennedy assassination,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not, by the end of the time, whenever you're researching everything, if you're not saying to yourself, no fucking way, you haven't looked at it close enough.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm not saying that Oswald was innocent, but I'm not saying he was alone either. Yeah, and one of my friends put it best. They went to the Assassination Museum and looked out the window. They weren't supposed to because they had the window roped off, but he looked out the window that Oswald supposedly shot Kennedy from, and he said, they have it roped off so you can't look out the window. Go, no fucking way. It's not going to happen.
As in, it couldn't have happened from
that distance with that gun.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe it goes as far back as 1947. If you want to believe that aliens crashed in the desert outside of Roswell, New Mexico.
I don't know. It's just they're hiding something in Area 51, but what?
I'll tell you what.
Who's to say?
Just about an hour's drive from where I live, it's a city in Pennsylvania called Kecksburg.
Kecksburg, okay.
Kecksburg, K-E-C-K-S Burg. In the mid-1960s, a UFO crashed in Kecksburg. All these firemen went down. They saw this giant acorn-shaped UFO. The government comes in. And it's really interesting to go talk to these people in this town, because you'll talk to people, and like a guy will go, "I was 16, and yeah, I saw it. It was big and smooth and coppery, and there was light flashing from it." And like another guy in the bar will go, "John Romanek, you are full of shit." And he goes, and then John will look over at Stan, and John will go, "You're full of shit. You didn't go down there. You were scared that night." And he goes, "If nothing was down there, tell me something. Was the government here?" "Yeah, the Army was here." "Why is the Army in a town that only has 150 people in it?" And he goes, "Well, I don't know, but you're full of, ain't no such thing as aliens." You know, and it goes back and forth like that. And the one thing that you have to sit back and go is the one thing that's absolutely certain. There are people in that town who went down into the woods who saw something. They saw something. I don't know if it was aliens. I don't know if it was a U.S. government thing, but something happened. The military was there, and they scooped it up and took it away. And the city has actually sued NASA several times trying to get them to tell them what crashed there in the 60s.
Not going to happen.
I don't know, man. I hope someday. But it's really cool having that little thing close to me. You know, that I can go to a UFO crash site in an hour. So,
how far are you from Gettysburg?
I'm about 2 hours away from Gettysburg. Been there several times.
You enjoy it?
I enjoy it in the same way that I enjoy pictures of the Holocaust. It's interesting. It's something that should never be forgotten. It should never be forgotten that this country once practiced slavery and killed each other over it. Slavery is a horrible thing. And you never want to forget that we used to be that bad, so that we never go back to it. But you stand on the battlefield in Gettysburg, and you can feel them. You can feel the souls that died there, and it's no paranormal thing. It's a very reverent thing. The heaviness is there.
What are some of the things that you like about, your state, and some of the things that you wish you could change?
The thing that I love that I really love about my state. There's two things. One of them's quite a selfish thing. One of them's just the way it is. The selfish thing is that it seems my state is steeped in the paranormal, in unknown phenomena. You go to every town, they're going to have different ghost stories. If you go up to the Chestnut Ridge, you're going to have Bigfoot stories. I've seen Bigfoot twice. There's some sort of big monkey running around these woods. I can drive an hour and a half and be at a lake called Lake Raystown where they photographed some giant monster swimming around in it. I can go, like I said, to the UFO crash site. I can go take tours of haunted houses. So that's the selfish thing. I really love that whole paranormal feel that Pennsylvania seems to have.
There's a lot of that in Ohio as well, and I think that's so neat.
Oh yeah,
And,
I mean, you guys have, the Mothman.
Yes.
Too, you know?
And the person that got me into this, rest his soul, he was my mentor, one of the best people. If he was still around today, I would have easily have nominated him for like the mentorship thing for scouting, because when a person goes for Eagle, they give their mom and dad a pin, for being the parents and, for helping them through the journey, and then you have a mentor, someone that you rely upon and have helped you through your journey in scouting in some way.
That's really cool. That is really cool.
And that was Mr. Kenny. Good guy. I miss him dearly. He passed of Lou Gehrig's disease.
I am sorry. I am sorry.
Just a few years ago. Real nice guy. He was a part of a group called Para X, and they went on tours and stuff. And I wanted to join so bad, and he said, "You're going to have to wait. I know it looks like fun, and it is, but you need to be an adult to do it, because you need to sign for waivers and stuff to make sure that way if you die from something that people aren't held accountable."
Yeah.
And I can respect that.
And if you believe in that stuff, to me, I've always been the guy that's ran in the other direction. Look towards the danger. Run towards the squatch. That's a shame about Mr. Kenny. So, you know what? I hope that there is something on the other side. And you know what? Whenever you get old enough, man, I'd go join Para X. I'd drop his name. And who knows? Maybe you'll get to speak with him again.
Actually, I turn into an adult June, so.
Happy adulthood. Happy tax paying to you.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you give one of those real slow, don't give a damn claps.
Yeah. Congratulations. You've aged. But the other thing about my state is the way that it looks. And that's just one of the things that's there. Pennsylvania, if you ever get the chance, drive through the mountains of western Pennsylvania.
Oh, they're just beautiful.
Oh my God. Whenever you're a teenager, you're like, I can't wait to get out of this place. And then I ended up getting out of this place. I moved to Minnesota. And I toured around the country, and I've seen a lot of stuff. And it just, no matter what, man, my heart always ached for the mountains of Pennsylvania. Like these beautiful, beautiful lakes, these gorgeous waterfalls, these huge rocky moss tree-covered mountains, and just the air. The water feels different.
Different how?
Whenever I lived in Minnesota, the water, and it was even the rain had a texture to it. It was almost like it was slimier.
Ooh.
And it was unpleasant to drink. And the air had a smell that had like a slight formaldehyde scent to it. And it was just the people walking around me hadn't noticed it. And then I lived out there for a year, and I came back here, and for 3 days I had real trouble because, I went from just barely above sea level to 3,213 feet above sea level.
Could you give me a sec? I just got this. With CallGraph, do you have to start new recordings or something, or?
Whenever you stop them, you can. Yeah, if you stop it, then it starts up a new recording. I don't think you can pause it.
It does have a pause function, right?
Okay, yeah, go ahead and pause.
Recording again? There you go.
Pardon me?
I think I had to press start recording again to get it to continue. Anyway, so, but yeah, things have been real huge. Definitely a big change. I learned quite a bit this past year, senior year. For example, I was in a relationship for a little while, and I learned something about women. You'll find what qualities that you're happy with, and then you're going to find stuff that's like, I didn't know this about you. This is different.
What I have found out about relationships is that you tend to gravitate towards people who have some sort of personality. I'm not going to use the word defect, but personality trait that they are in abundance of that you are lacking.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
and I think that's why it didn't work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It can come back to bite you in the butt.
Yeah. I found
my girlfriend is just like, she will tell people what she thinks of them, and I'm this very normally whenever I'm out, like if I get like some sort of weird thing wrong with my food, I'll just be like, oh, I'll eat around it. But she'll like go, what the hell are you doing? Back in the kitchen and make this right. God damn, I ain't coming here again. That's it.
She sounds like a wonderful person.
Really is. She really is, if you catch her in the right mood.
I found out that my ex was a biter.
A biter?
Yes.
Like The Walking Dead?
No, like at weird moments, I just sit there and all of a sudden she'd bite me in the neck.
What the absolute living hell? What? I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, they'll bite you thinking it's like cute or even pleasurable, and I'm like, I don't really know what to say, whether like to say, ow, what the hell?
You look at her and you go, stop that. Don't ever do that again. Ever.
That doesn't work.
You are invading my personal space with your teeth. Don't you ever do that again. You do that again, I'm calling the police. And I'm showing them the teeth marks where you bit me.
I also found out she's a pagan, so...
Pagans are fine.
They are, but when you combine the two things together, that gives you an odd combination.
Yeah, a biting pagan. That is a little bit... That sounds like the name of a drink you'd order at a bar. I'll have a biting pagan. Do you want me to bruise the cucumber? Yes, indeed. You know. But yeah, I wouldn't set for that.
So you understand why I had to stop that.
Oh yeah.
I was like, no.
My ex-wife was into some weird stuff. And I remember one night she held out a knife and asked me to cut her a little bit.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. And I went, no. No, that's not going to happen. I will not be cutting anyone. In fact, I'm going to take a break from whatever this is that we're doing right now, and I'm going to go cut me a piece of cake.
Honey, give me that knife.
Watch and pretend it's you. And looking back on it, right there is whenever the relationship started to sour. I've had some strange times. But yeah, you'll have, as you get older and get into more and more relationships, you will find that there are some truly effed up people that are really good at hiding it until they're close to you. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah. I'm going to just say this has been a great episode, first episode of Tea Time with Grimlock.
It's been my pleasure. The pleasure's all on this side, believe me.
I'm going to call